Hi everyone, welcome to Tesla Jigsaw. Today, a very unusual episode. I get to meet the wonderful Daren Yoong. Is that right?
Daren Yoong, yes.
Yoong.
I'm very happy to be here, here in London with you, Will.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So you've just flown in this morning and I've just been your chaperone for the day. And we're travelling around in the Tesla, trying to get our way through London.
I feel so lucky.
Yeah, on this lovely, beautiful sunny day. How cool is that? But how nice it is to get to meet members of the Tesla community around the world, something I didn't appreciate that I was going to get myself into when I started my channel, was just meeting such cool people around the world. It's a pleasure to meet you, it really is, and great just talking Tesla all day so far, haven't we? It's been great.
Truly, nerding out.
Yeah, totally nerding out, and we're in, I don't even know where we are. Where are we?
This place we're in is a service center and also a showroom, and it's one of the most iconic and oldest Tesla locations here in London. So we've got to get the name right.
What
Let's
he
pull
said.
it up. We are at Tesla Center, London, Park Royal.
Park Royal. Wow.
That's
Park
right.
Royal with cheese. That's what
That's
I want.
right.
Royale with cheese.
Okay, yeah, speaking of which, we need to find some food afterwards, don't we? But I wanted to just ask you then, so what on earth got you into your Tesla journey? How did this begin for you?
It began a decade ago, being a fan of Elon Musk and SpaceX. But being in Singapore, it's much harder to find rockets compared to electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And started seeing Teslas on the road and started learning more about Tesla, started investing in Tesla, and that's where the journey began. I started a YouTube channel 3 years ago because I enjoy telling stories and sharing stories from around the world. Precisely what we're doing here today. The gift of the community is just to hear from so many perspectives.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, and that's how it continues.
Great, great. So I've checked out a lot of your videos now as well. I've been rummaging through all sorts. So you've been for a BYD factory tour.
Yeah.
You've interviewed Dave Lee. I love Dave Lee. Massive respect to him. You've been on Brian from Future Ours' channel.
Yes.
You've done all sorts, and you also travel around and you find these amazing stories to talk about. All these different car companies that are in China now, the Xiaomi SU7. I've just done a video about myself, which is fascinating to learn about. I'd love to ask you, of all of the cars available to yourself in Asia, what would be the car of your choice if Tesla didn't exist?
If Tesla didn't exist, this would be a very tough question to answer. The car that drives most like a Tesla is a Polestar. It's one of the few EVs with a default and built-in single pedal driving. Very responsive, a great driver's car, just like a Tesla. However, you've got Hyundais with very good build quality, lots of space. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 has, people say, almost as much space as a Tesla Model Y. Yeah. And you've got the Chinese EV brands like BYD, which are innovating very quickly, and they're giving very affordable vehicles. So if there was not a Tesla, I likely won't be driving any EV because I'm not a car person, I'm a techie. Right. And the reason why I got a Tesla and why I bought a Tesla is because, as many of you know, Teslas are like robots on wheels. They're very good integration of hardware and software coming together. It's almost as if Apple made a car. If Steve Jobs is around today, I'm 90% sure Apple would have a car today.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have cancelled their car project.
Yes.
And right now their car ambitions live purely on software.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that's the right sort of way that China's going then? Because especially with the Xiaomi SU7, and Xiaomi as a business, obviously they're a software company first, and they're also manufacturers because they already manufacture their smartphones at scale. Do you think that approach is going to be more beneficial to them compared to traditional auto that are, they have internal combustion engine business that they need to sort of swap to be a software company and a battery company? What are your thoughts on Xiaomi's approach to software first?
It's very difficult for a hardware company to be a software company and vice versa. So the companies that are managing to crack the code on both hardware and software successfully, they're a handful, they're very few. Like Meta has tried to be a hardware company, but it's still mostly known as a software company. Apple and Tesla are one of the few where their hardware and software are pretty good and they work well together. For a lot of the Chinese car brands, even for BYD, they're stronger in hardware. For Xiaomi, they're still also stronger in hardware first. So if you go to China, Xiaomi doesn't just sell phones, they sell kitchen appliances, a lot of home appliances. They sell practically any appliance you can think of, TVs, fridge, all kinds. It's not just phones. In the Western world, you just think of them as phones.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that they sell. You get power your whole house with Xiaomi products.
Wow.
It's like Samsung and LG. The fact that they're trying to get into cars, it's one, a signal of their hardware strength because they diversified a lot. We still need to see that the hardware and software are coming together to work well together. And beyond Tesla and Apple, many companies are still in a journey to really integrate it.
Yeah, yeah. So who, out of the manufacturers in China then, who are doing the top 3 manufacturers perhaps that are doing what's necessary to rapidly innovate and push the software?
By far, the most important and impactful Chinese car manufacturer is BYD. After BYD, every other Chinese car brand from volumes are just far less. I think it's at least half or less than half of what BYD is manufacturing. So with the volume base and also the growth momentum that BYD has from the hardware, I think now is a good time for them to be more intentional in investing in software. And when I say investing in software, it doesn't only mean they do things in-house. They could license Tesla's full self-driving. They could license Tesla's FSD. They could partner with Tesla on superchargers, just like how in North America, every car brand has adopted a North American charging standard. BYD is by far the most impactful Chinese car company that has the potential to really shift the entire industry.
Yeah, it surprised me that they haven't come together yet, to be honest. I've thought that for a long time with BYD and Tesla. Why haven't they licensed their software or at least been asked? Maybe they have. Maybe it's coming, yeah.
Talking about Chinese brands, what's the perception of Chinese car brands like BYD or NIO or XPeng here in the UK? And also another unique thing is that MG, which started as Morris Garage a century ago here, is now owned by a Chinese car company. So how does this shift buyers' perception?
I don't think a lot of people know MG is a Chinese company, or that Polestar and Volvo are also made in China now. Or even in the UK, we've got the Jaguar I-Pace. That's not even made in the UK anymore. But the perception of some of the cheaper Chinese cars was just that they were cheaper. They were just not based on quality. But obviously, there's been a massive leap in quality.
Do you have NIO and XPeng here?
No.
Not yet?
No, we don't have NIO at all here. Do we have XPeng?
Volvo, Polestar, and MG. These would be the biggest Chinese-owned brands here in the UK.
The perception is that Chinese cars are supposedly, the quality is improved enough that people would like them, and the hope was that they would be cheap enough and we'd be flooded with cheap electric cars finally with decent range of 200, 300 mile range for less of a price than the equivalent internal combustion engine car. But the problem is we've not had that inundation of super cheap cars at all, because by the time they get to us with 10% import tariff that we have from China now, and then there's VAT, which is 20% as well, the value-added tax we have to pay. Like they say, the BYD Seal is £6,000 more than the base model Tesla Model 3. That doesn't really weigh up if you do your homework and look at both of the statistics of them. It doesn't quite add up, does it? So I think people's perception is we were hoping for a cheap influx of electric cars, and we've not quite got that. I mean, MG are doing it, I suppose. They're with the MG4. That's a relatively decent priced car. But things like the Aura, Great Wall Motors, I've test driven that car. It's a nice little car for what it is. I thought it was quite nice, but it's still not super cheap. You can lease it relatively affordably. I think it's above £30,000.
For a brand like Aura, the question to answer in a place like UK is, why would anyone buy an Aura Good Cat over a Mini Cooper EV?
Yeah, well, the Mini Cooper E's probably got less range, actually. So, I mean, I took the Mini Cooper E, Cooper S, John Cooper Works electric car out and made a review on that. The thing I didn't point out was the actual range of the car, which I didn't really understand until I got back to the showroom and I looked at how far I'd travelled and what was left in the tank, if you like, and it was only coming up with about 180 miles full range if it was at 100%. And the claimed range is far higher. It's more like, I can't remember what it is, but more like 300 miles. But there's no way you're getting that. So I think even the Aura and lots of smaller cars from China, certainly the MGs, they're getting far better range than what anything that Mini's producing. So, and then the Mini is still super expensive as well. If you pop all the options on it, it was way more than a Model 3. Europe's just increased its import tariffs from Chinese-made EVs to, I think that up to 37% they can
That's
charge.
right.
Is that right?
Yes.
And then the UK is, I believe, at 10%, sticking
Okay.
at that, which is quite nice. What do you make of the 100% import tariff to the US? Because before you answer, I feel like it's a real hit to the end consumer,
Yeah.
who instead of having an affordable car, won't have that option at the moment. Wondered what your thoughts were.
I think it's not a long-term and sustainable thing. It's important that every country allows free and fair competition. So some people claim that Chinese car companies are getting incentives from the Chinese government, which is true. And to be fair, most car companies get some form of incentives from their governments as well. I hope that the tariffs go down so that everyone has more choice and options. The good thing in the US and Canada is that there's a strong Tesla, strong manufacturing base in Texas, in Fremont, and Teslas are the most American-made cars that most Americans can buy. So they should definitely be thinking about the Model 3 and Model Y before looking at foreign car brands, and that's fair. But it doesn't excuse local car manufacturers, GM and Ford, to slow down their transition towards EVs. And that's a loss for American consumers and Canadian consumers. Both US and Canada are looking at 100% tariffs right now.
Yeah. Public charging infrastructure is often talked about in the UK. I heard the other day that there's over 5 million chargers in China. Is that correct?
There are a lot of chargers in China. ChatGPT or Wikipedia can give us the latest stats because it keeps on going up, keeps on increasing. You will go to any office and any mall and there'll be dozens of EV chargers. If you live at homes, your homes would have EV chargers. And nowadays, the range is good enough that you really only need to charge once, twice a week, unless you're road tripping.
Yeah, wow.
Because the average city driver would drive less than 50 kilometers per day, especially if you live in a very dense city in Asia Pacific. So it's very, very good.
Yeah, amazing.
And I think more than half of the new cars sold in China are now battery electric vehicles.
Yeah, I saw it hit over 50%. And obviously what happens in China usually spreads around the rest of the world. So I'm sure it'll be coming to the rest of the world soon enough.
Norway is already leading the way closer to UK. Norway is like 90%.
Yeah.
Most of the Nordic countries have EV adoption more than 2/3, more than 65%. UK and Germany are also not too far off, but 20-25% as well.
Yeah.
It's reached a point where EVs are at a point of no return, it's escape velocity.
Yeah, so almost reaching price parity to internal combustion engine cars. And in my view, if you look at the used electric car market, you can get old Nissan Leaf that'll do 60 miles of range, for about £2,000 or £2,500. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Start a car. If it's your first car and you don't need to travel very far, just after a little pop to the shops or pop to work car. I mean, that's what I would be doing if I was 18 again, driving. I'd just be on the cheapest possible form of transport I could find, plug it in at home. So, yeah, it's an exciting future though, isn't it? But what are you looking forward to the most in Tesla's future?
I'm looking forward to, in the next 2 years, Tesla is transforming in a very tangible and visible way from just a car company into a robotics and also an AI company. So that means the average person, like our friends and family, not us, has to see Tesla's robots, has to see that the cars are to some extent driving autonomously. So that's what I'm looking forward to in the next 2 years.
Yeah, of course. You've also had a go in Tesla's full self-driving.
Version 12 is solid, but FSD supervised, the one that most Americans and Canadians can try now, is really a leap ahead where it's practically point-to-point driving. It's like from your car park to your destination's car park. It's there most of the time already.
Yeah.
And on 10/10, in 2 months' time, Tesla is going to announce in Burbank, California, their ambitions for robotaxi.
Yeah.
They are likely going to do a demo because the location where they announced it is like a enclosed private city.
Fantastic. Yeah. I cannot wait for that. I'm so excited. Of course, it was going to happen on the 8th of August, but they pushed it out a little bit due to Elon wanting a little change to the front end of the car. So very eager to find out what it looks like. Because just looks-wise, when you think of the robotaxi, what they had in mind, might have been really nice, but then, AI produces these wonderful images of robo-taxis. Well, that might be better than what we're showing, so let's redesign it. I think that might have happened. They might have seen different versions of it, of what it could be, and gone, oh, that's even better than we thought. But yeah, we should wait and see. Also, I'm going to Las Vegas with Simon from Tesla Light Shows as well, because he's putting on a big light show over there. And he's coming to, is he doing your Asia show next year as well? They're doing a light show for you there?
Speaking of Simon on it, hopefully we'll see how things work out.
Yeah.
We'll love to have Simon with us.
She's just got such a wonderful energy and excitement for Tesla and these light shows. It's
you
really
were telling me
warm.
earlier in the ride that a few months ago Simon's car flipped.
Yeah.
And immediately after he picked himself up, testament to Tesla's safety that he's able to walk away from such a serious accident where the car flipped and still go on to light show events.
Just went on straight to the airport, flew to America, just carried on doing his show. He's very hardcore. So I'd have to go to bed for a week, I think, and just recover quietly with a cup of tea. But and then final question, are you looking forward to seeing Brian from Futuraza in February?
Brian, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Kuala Lumpur. Please come down. You've got so much rich insights. We're very excited to have you. And also just to hear your stories in the US where you joined a team for a Cybertruck road trip. What's happening there? Tell us more.
Yeah, excellent. All right, Darren, it's been such a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise, Will.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll do this in Singapore one day.
Yes.
But yeah, if you'd like to like and subscribe to my channel, please do. If you want to go across to Daren Young's as well, please do check out his amazing videos, especially like the BYD tour and what was the I want to say Yang Gang.
Yang Wang. So
Yang
that's BYD has 4 global brands.
That's it.
They are launching a few luxury ones worldwide.
And that U9 one as well, the one that jumped.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Did the
That's
wobbly
right.
thing. That's a fun video as well.
That's right.
So yeah, check him out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Will. This is the Tesla Jigsaw. Thank you, Patreons, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.